we are in front of the amazing Pantages Theater, where thousands of films and stage shows have found their glory, and we're here to celebrate one more wonderful event in front of the Pantages. So welcome this morning to the Walk of Fame ceremony, and a shout out to our fans watching our live stream presented by our media partner, Variety. My name is Vin DeBona, chairman of the Walk of Fame Committee, and I'm emceeing today's Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, which is presenting this program. Today, we honor actor Mandy Patinkin with the Mandy, take note of this, with the 2,629th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So let me tell you something about Mandy. Mandy Patinkin is one of the entertainment world's greatest assets. He's entertained us on the big and small screens, as well as many theatrical stages. Mandy was born in Chicago, Illinois. He's a man of many facets and has been fortunate to carve out a varied career in theater. Also the concert stage, film, television, and as a recording artist. Currently, Mandy can be seen in the Emmy and Golden Globe award-winning Showtime original series, Homeland, as the CI agent Saul Berenson. Produced by Fox 21 Television Studios, Homeland premiered in its 7th season just last night. No spoiler alert, his sequence in the prison cell is riveting. In 1955, Mandy won an Emmy Award for his performance in the CBS series Chicago Hope. Also starred in the CBS series Criminal Minds and the Showtime original series Dead Like Me. In his, yes, if you like something, applaud for it. In his 1980 Broadway debut, he won a Tony Award for his role as Che in Andrew Lloyd Webber's Evita. He was nominated in 1984 for his starring role as George in the Pulitzer Prize-winning musical Sunday in the Park with George. His other stage credits include Paradise Found, The Tempest, Enemy of the People, Falsettos, The Secret Garden, The Winter's Tale, Leave It to Beaver is Dead, Rebel Women, Hamlet, The Shadow Box, The Split, Savages, and Henry IV, Part 1, and many more. In 1989, Mandy began his concert career at Joseph Papp's Public Theater in New York City. Since then, he has toured and continues to perform on various solo concerts across North America, in London's West End, throughout Australia and New Zealand, as well as on and off Broadway. Thank you. In addition to his solo concerts, Mandy has created collaborations with artists including opera superstar Nathan Gunn and with his friend Patti LuPone. They toured in 2017 and played Broadway in 2012. He also played in Bridges, a concert with musicians from various countries in the Middle East, and most recently, The Last Two People on Earth, an apocalyptic vaudeville. You'll have to explain that one. Mandy has appeared in many feature films, Wish I Were Here, Pinero, The Adventures of Elmo in Grouchland, and the most amazing sword-fighting sequences in The Princess Bride. Also, Yentl, The Music of Chance, Daniel, Ragtime, Impromptu, The Doctor, Alien Nation, Dick Tracy, True Colors, and more. He's also lent his voice to numerous animated films, most recently Smurfs, The Lost Village, And recently, Mandy was seen in the hit movie Wonder playing Mr. Tushman. Wonder is currently available on digital and will be available on Blu-ray February 13th. That would be tomorrow. He's also recently wrapped Life Itself, which is expected to be released this fall. Together, Patinkin and the original rescue committee are on the mission to bring attention to the global refugee crisis, the greatest upheaval of humanity since World War II. Patinkin, yes. Patinkin visited Greece with the IRC in November 2015, where he met families who had fled Syria and other war-torn countries. A passionate supporter of refugee rights, he has since traveled to Serbia and Germany with the humanitarian organization to bear witness to the ongoing crisis. And now, please help me welcome to the stage our honoree, Mandy Patinkin. I'm going to ask Mandy to stand here while we talk about some friends who've come to visit and some speakers. I'd like to make note of some of our special guests. Chairman of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, Jeff Serena. Jeff. Also with us today is actress Catherine Grody. And actress Amy Mullins. Some other close friends, Gary Newman, co-chairman and CEO of Fox Television Group, Bert Salke, president of Fox 21 Television Studios, David Nivens, president and CEO of Showtime, Gary Levine, president of programming of Showtime, Alex Ganza, co-creator and showrunner of Homeland, and Howard Gordon, executive producer of Homeland. Now we really get down to it. Our first speaker is best known for his 5 seasons on Homeland as Peter Quinn, a role for which he received an Emmy nomination. He first rose to fame after being nominated by the British Independent Film Awards as Best Newcomer for his first professional role in The Libertine. He followed that playing Mr. Wickham in 2005 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. He's also performed in The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, The Young Victoria, and Cherie. He will next be seen in Armando Iannucci's The Death of a Salesman. Please welcome Rupert Friend.
Thank you. It's The Death of Stalin, out next week. A lot of people, I think of Mandy as quite a serious guy, quite an intense dude. And I know when I was watching season 1 of Homeland back in England, and it was my favorite show, I was blown away by what Mandy was doing, and I thought if I was ever to work with him, it would be quite a daunting, intense experience. Fast forward to I'm on the show in season 2, and it's my second day. Haven't met Mandy before. He hasn't yet spoken to me. It's been some hours. He's in his script, preparing his part. And they say, 2 minutes, please, gentlemen, 2 minutes. And he lowers his glasses and fixes me with that piercing gaze that we've all come to know so well, and just says, "Do you do theater?" So now I'm in a quandary, because if I say, not really, not for a long time, he might think I wasn't really a proper actor. But if I say yes, maybe he's saying, you're a little big, it's a little hammy, I need you to, bring it down some. And then they're like, right, places please, and I'm still pondering the answer, and I have to sit at a desk and do CIA terrorism stuff. And Mandy is being brilliant as Saul, standing up with his board of, ideas. And I'm kind of at this height, and he's standing with his back to me. So I'm kind of eye level with his belt. And they call action, and this belt starts to loosen, and Mandy's pants drop to the floor. So I'm at eye level with Mandy's quivering, very toned buttocks. And he starts to sing one of the songs from Sunday in the Park with George, while flexing his buttocks in time, which is something I didn't know people could do, but he's a very talented guy. And I realized just then that something that was proved to me in later seasons, that Mandy is perhaps more proud, over all the awards and everything he's been awarded with, more proud of his legs than perhaps anything else. He once challenged me... Oh, no. Yeah. You don't want to do it. He once challenged me to this exact contest, and he would have won by a long way were it not for Claire's toddler, who dropped his trousers and ran on and took the gold. But Mandy, today we're honoring you for, obviously, your talent. Just wait for that. But there's something you may or may not know. After a season of Homeland, everyone is exhausted and desperate to go home to their families. And at the end of a season of Homeland, Mandy goes with the IRC and spends time with refugees all over the world. It's something that speaks to his integrity and passion as a human being. And today we honor not just his talent and his integrity, but the passion he brings to everything he does. I'm proud to call him my friend.
Our next speaker has a versatile career that spans across film, television, and theater. On television, she has made many memorable turns on Showtime's Penny Dreadful. We discussed her juicy character earlier. She's been on Girls, the hit FX drama American Horror Story. She's appeared in numerous feature films, most notably the Academy Award-winning Driving Miss Daisy, Witness, and Wise Guys. A stalwart on Broadway and multiple Tony Award winner, she most recently starred on Broadway's Last Fall in War Paint. She won the Tony for Best Actress in a Musical twice, once for Evita in 1980, and yes, and once again in 2008 for her performance in Gypsy. Please welcome the talented Patti LuPone.
Have you ever had the experience when someone is in your life and you don't remember when that person became so much a part of your life? A vital influence that informs how you live your life. This is not a Svengali or a manipulator like the religious nuts America is so adept at turning out. No, this is a friend who is by their very nature a guide. This is a friend who is consciously committed to being true, who is so empathetic that the world's pains and problems become theirs, but not in the way that make them lost in the mire of desolation. This beloved friend is a doer, a seeker, a fearless human who simply wants to help. How many selfless people do we know, let alone are in our lives? I have one of those in my life, Mandy. If he weren't a Broadway musical star, he would have been a cantor. If he weren't a television star, he would have been a Peace Corps volunteer, a first responder. He would still champion the displaced. He would still travel to refugee camps of human beings, not Syrians or the Rohingya or the world's oppressed. Mandy sees only humans. His heart is huge. His soul is merciful. His brain is constantly striving to understand and achieve a peaceful resolution. His intelligence is ethical. We're here to celebrate Mandy's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. His accomplishments in our industry are extensive and singular like the man. His talent is boundless. He is my hero. He saved me when I was drowning in fear during the first months of the musical Evita. His extending hand and heart and his admission of his own fear cemented our professional relationship and also our personal one. It's been close to 40 years of friendship, of marriages, both to one spouse, births of our children.
One spouse.
Births of our children and lives lived. He guides me with how he lives his life. If I could be half the human being Mandy is every day, I would feel as though I contributed to this world. But back to show business. There are precious few people I cherish more on stage. We have that elusive chemistry. It transcends the craft of acting. That is the actor's blessing, a friend on stage. I'm doubly blessed. I have Mandy on stage and in my life. Mandy, no star can possibly shine as bright as your universal humanity, your heart, your blazing brain. But what a great honor to be chosen to star alongside our teachers and heroes. Your star will thrill so many people who love you. Once this thing dries, I'm going to make my own little shrine to you, Mandy. Congratulations on yet another monumental achievement.
Wow. This is better than a bar mitzvah, I can tell you that. Very moved by my dear friend's words. Thank you so much, and equally moved by friends and family that are here today with us all. I want to wing it for a little bit. I have a few little notes, but so I don't miss things that I don't want to miss. First of all and foremost, I want to thank the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce who govern the Hollywood Walk of Fame and who've given me this honor today, helped me. And now, I'd like to walk you through for a few minutes my life and how I got here today. I want to thank my mom and my dad, and I want to thank them for a particular reason. I want to thank them because of the challenges they faced with another member of our congregation, Congregation Rodfay-Zedek, on the south side of Chicago. Bernie Colby, who is a prominent member of the congregation and a wonderful friend of my parents and a wonderful lawyer. And he said to my parents, "How can you let Mandy go into show business? It's irresponsible as a parent. You need to get him to go to the University of Chicago, the University of Illinois, and have a business degree." And he was very influential, Bernie, and he wrote the most extraordinary letters, several of them, to my mom and dad, begging them, pleading with them to reconsider their willingness to let Mandy follow his path. And my parents stood fast and let their son follow his dream and his desire and the way he felt he communicated best in this world. So I thank Bernie for challenging my parents, and most of all, I thank my parents for having the courage and the strength to listen to their child's heartbeat and let their child sing. I love that we're here in Hollywood and surrounded by all this history. And I want to tell you that as I was thinking about who to thank, I want to thank the Three Stooges. They may have influenced me more than anyone I can think of in my young life. I watched them religiously every day, and the only punishment that had any consequence in my life, if I didn't do well in school or if I went after my sister with a frying pan, was that I wasn't allowed to watch the Three Stooges. I want to thank Mrs. Goldberg and Cantor Goldberg from Congregation Rodfay-Zedek, where I was in the boys' choir from the age of 7, and who stood by me and encouraged me to sing. And Mrs. McClin at Kenwood High School on the south side of Chicago, who said to me after I sang, I had to sing a solo one day in choir, and I sang in my high voice, and I thought, oh, she's going to yell at me, I'm going to get in trouble. And I said, I'm sorry, Miss McClin, I can do it louder, I can do it bigger, I can do it with a bigger voice. She said, child, you listen to me. Anybody who tells you you sing in a different voice than the voice you just used, you tell them to come talk to Miss McClin. I said, yes, ma'am. And then I went to the Young Men's Jewish Council Youth Center on the south side of Chicago, on 76th and Phillips, where I met a man named Bob Condor, who loved the theater and ran a little costume house on the north side of Chicago. And he spent his time after school taking care of kids in an after-school theater program. And I was there every day of my life, and Bob gave me the love for theater. And I'll never forget a particular moment. We were doing the play Carousel, and we sat in a semicircle, and Bob said, what's this play about? And we all raised our hands, and we said, it's about a guy who makes a mistake, about a guy who goes to heaven, about a guy who gets a second chance. And like a wonderful teacher, Bob turned to all of us young kids and said, I think you're all right, but I think it's about something else. He said, I think it's about if you love someone, tell them. And at that moment, with all the wonderful things I'd heard my parents say at the dinner table and the rabbi say in the synagogue, I'd never heard anything quite like that stuck with me. And I thought, if that's what this world, theater and entertainment is about, that's a Torah that speaks to my heart, and I want to stick around for it. I'd also like to thank my oldest friend in the world who's here today, Bob Netches. And Bob simply wouldn't be happier if I didn't let everyone in the world know that he taught me everything I know. Thank you, Bob. I'd like to also say I took a stop off at the Creed Repertory Theater in Creed, Colorado, where I ran into my dear friend Sally Smith, where we worked for many years, and we brought theater to people all over Colorado, and it formed me. We did everything. We built the sets, hung the lights, did the plays, 8 plays every season. My son is in that small town today, working in the school district. I want to thank my teachers at the Juilliard School of Drama, Marion Seldes, who came over to my house one day when I was depressed and frightened and scared. She came over for only one reason, to remind me of why I came here in the first place. To remind me I came here because I loved this work and not to forget it. And she held me till I remembered. And my dear friend and mentor, Gerald Friedman, who was just 90 years old, who gave me, in simple words, my craft. I want to thank Joseph Papp and the Public Theater for giving me a home to start my life in the theater in New York. And Joe Papp, our favorite photograph that Catherine and I have is from our wedding. Joe Papp, at a Jewish wedding, you signed the ketubah before the ceremony. And Joe signed our ketubah. And my favorite photograph is Joe dancing with his wife, Gail, and he's sopping wet from sweat and from celebration. I want to thank Hal Prince, who gave me the job of Che Guevara in Evita and got me going and launched the career that Patty and I have enjoyed so much. And most of all, I want to thank my dearest friend, Patti LuPone, who I've known since, not since Evita 1978, William Hurt, who I know as Bill. Anybody who tells you his name is William is bullshit, it's Bill. Bill and I were tagged by John Hausman to be ushers at the Good Shepherd Faith Church right next door to Juilliard, to be the ushers for the first season of the acting company, of which an extraordinary actress was in one classical play after another, night after night. And that actress was Patti LuPone. And when I got cast in Evita, I said, listen, I just want to make sure whoever's playing the main lady is who is it? I want to make sure it's an actress. And they said, it's Patti LuPone. I said, thank you, I'll do it. And I can't not mention Stephen Sondheim and James Lapine, who gave me the gift of Sunday in the Park with George. And Stephen Sondheim, who gave me the gift of the words to sing that if I was a writer, I would sing every word he writes. He has the ability, like Shakespeare, to turn darkness into light. For Bill Goldman and Rob Reiner, who gave me the gift of The Princess Bride. For my dear friend Paul Ford, my piano player for 30 years, who has recently retired. For my closest friend Bob Hurwitz, who's here today. the president of None Such Records, for our collaboration, not just our collaboration at None Such, but most importantly, for our friendship. Because Bob, aside from his gift as a record producer, gave me the gift of understanding and appreciating light. We go on walks together and he tells me which direction to walk so I see the benefit of the sun on the world in front of me. Thank you, Bob, for being here today. Bob also gave me another gift recently, which was introducing me to a young man, 37 years old, named Thomas Bartlett, one of our most gifted musicians on this planet. And Thomas and I just began a collaboration, and we made a new record that will be coming out very soon on None Such. I want to thank Les Moonves, who I've had a relationship with, and I did the math, of almost 25 years between CBS and Viacom. And I most of all want to thank not my friends, but my family at Showtime, and my friends as well. I have been with them for 1994, oh shit, I wrote it down somewhere, now I forgot where I put it. Since Strange Justice, which I think might have been 2003. I'm not sure. But it's a long time that we've been together. I did Strange Justice with Showtime. I did the series Dead Like Me. And then they gave me the gift and the blessing of trusting in me, taking the chance with me, and asking me to play Saul Berenson in Showtime's Homeland. Under the guidance, the gift, the inspiration of Alex Gonza, Howard Gordon, and our most extraordinary staff of writers. I don't know who I'd be today without the gift of Saul Berenson and our relationship. He has taught me the best parts of myself, how to be quieter, how to listen better, and how to have the willingness and the courage to embrace my moral and ethical nature and to stand up for that nature for not only all Americans, but people all over the world who are so desperate for support in this fragile, broken planet we are living in. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Claire Danes, for being our fearless leader, who teaches me grace and courage every day. For my friend, Rupert Friend, who has been a gift to all of us and who will continue to be a gift. And we cannot wait to see everything you do. To all of our actors on Homeland, to our glorious, glorious crew, who have been some of the most extraordinary people you could ever wish to be with. People give all the credit to the people in front of the camera on a television show. They should get the least amount of credit. It is the crew that is there for every shot, every day, every single hour, every second of the ball game. And no one deserves more thanks than all of those members of our crews for not just Homeland, but every show at Showtime and Fox 21. Life is funny. I got a phone call that my first agent, Jeff Hunter, wasn't doing well. So I called my wife, Catherine, and I said, I'm going to go over and see him. And I went to see him Friday morning right before I went to the recording studio to work with my piano player, Thomas Bartlett, because I wanted to see how he was. I heard he wasn't doing well. And we had a 15-minute visit, and he was dying. And he took my hand, and we connected with our eyes, and we loved each other. I got a call a few hours later that he had passed away. And I just thank the good graces and the things you don't understand in this life that let me go over there that morning and be with my friend. I want to thank Sam Cohen, who launched my music career. I want to thank my dearest friend, my manager, Iris Grossman, who is at Echo Lake Entertainment, who has represented me loved me, nurtured me, fought for me, cared for me, cried with me. More than anyone that I've had to burden with my emotional instability in this business. She's been with me forever and will be with me forever. My wonderful reps, Scott Melrose and Sarah Fargo at Paradigm, and all of my guardian angels, particularly my family, the Shapiros, who are all here today, led by Daryl and Marvin, who are in heaven. And the only tragedy of this event is that Daryl and Marvin aren't here to uncover that star. It belongs to them more than it belongs to anyone I know. They nurtured me, they raised me, they welcomed my wife Catherine into our family. They became the grandparents my children never had, and the family that one always would wish for. And most importantly, my family. My sons Isaac and Gideon, who are off in the world, busy and living their lives. And before I say my final comments, I want to bring my wife, Catherine Grody, up here with me. What? Yeah. I've just been told they want me to look at the middle camera. Sorry. I'm going to start over. No. This is my wife, Catherine Grody. She is it. She's the ball game, folks. And I want to leave you with a little thought to please take home with you and take it all around the world with you. We have a refugee here from Iraq named Taha Kashali, who came to 20th Century Fox on World Refugee Day, which Fox and Fox Television 21 gave us this extraordinary event to talk about what stories we want to tell in our business, how we can highlight vulnerable individuals among us all over the world, but particularly in our country, and what difference we can make as entertainers and storytellers. And I want you to think about these people who are the most vulnerable among us all over the world, who need our attention, more attention than you can imagine, so that they can have quality lives and they can bring their children up in a healthy, not war-torn atmosphere and grow and live and prosper. And I want you to think about the Olympics that I was watching last night, when every moment another individual comes on screen with a different ethnicity, a different color skin, different facial features. And I turn to Catherine and I say, where's that person from? And time after time after time, they're from the United States of America. They're the immigrant fabric of our world, of our culture, of our nation. They are our heroes and our athletes for all time. They represent us. Let us learn to welcome other immigrants without fear, without worry, and learn to trust them and not be guided by fear. They are our teachers. God bless you and thank you. Thank you.
You know, we've heard from many speakers from this platform, but maybe none so impassioned and eloquent. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Please welcome Councilman Mitch O'Farrell, who proudly represents the constituents of the 13th Council District in the city of Los Angeles. Mitch?
Thank you so much, Vin. I have to go after Mandy Patinkin. I just got to say, the humanity at the core of who you are comes across in everything you do, on stage, in feature films, on television, and you tell your audience, I think, every day how much you love this world and how much you love them. And that translates. And that makes you a very, very extra special, enlightened artist. And this world is sorely lacking in love these days, as has been said. How about a big round of applause for Mandy Patinkin and his incredible, exquisite and exceptional talent. And as an American of Native American and Irish heritage, 3 generations now in the States, and as a proud Irishman, no one sings Danny Boy better than Mandy Patinkin. After this ceremony is over, I want everyone to YouTube his performance of Danny Boy, which I saw live at the Hollywood Bowl probably 15 years ago, and it was transformative.
It's Sonny Boy.
Oh, okay. Sonny Boy, okay.
But you're Irish and you've had a few too many drinks.
Well, you should see my office and the kinds of gifts I get from people. They always assume and they always bring me alcohol. That's one of the banes. Not today. Thank you. All right. So I need to highlight the great works of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce for making this star ceremony possible so that fans from around the world can come and celebrate the incredible talents of individuals like Mandy Patinkin. Thank you, Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, for making this possible for all of us. With that, my colleagues and I congratulate a truly unique talent, Mandy Patinkin. There have been few other performers who possess anything close to your wide range of talents, be it on stage, in films, through music or television. You have brought rich characters and stories to life for countless people across the world. Your humanitarian involvement speaks for itself. Also, with your support for gun safety legislation, thank you, Mandy Patinkin.
Thank you.
Reinforces who you are, which is so much more than an incredible talent on stage and screen. You're truly a shining star. I can think of no better addition to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which I am so blessed to represent in the Los Angeles City Council. We congratulate you, Mandy Patinkin, on this very special day, and we wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's see.
And we're going to present this to you.
Great. You want to go over there?
Yeah, we'll take some pictures.
Thank you.
So one more announcement before we unveil the star. Mandy, we hereby declare this Mandy Patinkin Day in Hollywood. Gentlemen, we proudly welcome Mandy Patinkin to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Oh, yeah.
Everybody look straight in the center, please. A little to your left, please. Back to the center. A little to the right. Okay. So, Patty, stay.
Okay. What's good luck to stand at it?
Yes,
Do I need a piece of cake?
hold it.
Don't forget the other side. Look straight ahead in the center, please.
Down here to the right,
Left,
guys.
there.
Maybe down to the right.
Back to your center, please.
Right here, down in the middle, right here. Dead center, dead center.
look right to your extreme left.
Right here. Great speech.
So now Mandy by yourself.
By myself, okay. Whatever you want me to do.
Excellent.
You should touch it. There you go. Get rid of it. Can we get rid of it?
Okay, handsome.
Straight ahead.
And to your left a little bit.
Mandy, up here, please.
Right in front of you, right in front of you.
That's it.
All right.
Now we're talking.
Now that's what I call
Mandy, right in front of you. Mandy, straight ahead. Right here. Right in front of you. Oh, yeah. Frank, come back just a hair. Yeah, there we go.
over here, you sex symbol.
Mandy, back to your right, sir. Mandy, back up to the right.
Oh my.
Right in front, right in front.
Mazel tov.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Hold on.
And your wife.
My wife, well, there she is.
My wife, where did I put my wife?
Okay.
Right in the center. In the center.
The center. No, there it is.
Your left, please. Back in the center, please.
Down a little bit lower, right there. Like that. Straight ahead. Right outside.
Catherine, Mandy.
Right. Oh,
It's okay if you kiss her. Whoa!
All right, get a room, get a room.
He's a good sport. He gets it.
Look at that, honey.
How about a headstand? Yeah.
Mandy, get in front of the star.
Straight ahead, gentlemen.
There you go.
Straight ahead in the center.
down low, guys. Down right here. Guys, again, right here, please. Right here. Here's the box.
It's great.
Just follow it around, guys.
Frank, could you get your son? Okay? Mandy, if you like any other group photos, you're holding over
Who love my family? That would be great. And my buddy Madison, Steve, Catherine,
Rest of the family.
Patty, Bob Hurwitz. I didn't do that. Everybody here, come on, everybody. Where's Matthew and Ingrid? Matthew, Ingrid? Where's Matthew, Sally? Matthew, Ingrid?
Whatever.
Hello.
Come, everybody. Here we go, everybody squeeze in.
Family and friends.
This is family. This is all friends.
No, she didn't have surgery.
Everyone down here, please. Right on the side.
Who are all these people?
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. What are your names?
One by one, we need a list.
Rupert, right here. With a frolic room. Yeah.
Yes, what do you need? Yes.
More stuff.
Seven in the picture.